Are you excited?
My dad's hat looks like a condom tip. Okay, we had beautiful lights and beautiful horses, and now it's time for beautiful poker hands. Let's go to a Hollywood casino, play a little 2-5 no limit. I am joined today, fresh off his 2008 fifth place finish in Council Bluffs, Iowa circuit event, Corey Ferger.
Hello, everybody. Long time, first time.
Corey, I'm going to jump you right into a pretty fun hand that I'm sure you'll have some comments about how I played it. So in this pot, what you need to know is the guy down there at the end in that plaid-ish looking shirt playing with his chips, he is fun to play with.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and in this pot, my friend Derek to the right, he makes it $40, and I call the $40, and as you're about to see, just about everybody else at the table is going to call $40.
Okay, well, I mean, that's a fun game.
It's not a bad spot to be in. When the action catches up here, it's going to eventually get down to that dude in the plaid, and I think you're going to find what he does interesting. Because what we missed when I was doing your little intro there is that he min-raised or limped. I can't remember. I have to go back and look to $10. I'm pretty sure he min-raised to $10. So it's going to be a little back raise action coming towards us.
Okay. Well, things just got a lot more interesting, huh?
Yeah. So he makes it 200 here. And now it's going to go over to Derek to my right. And I know you don't know what Derek has, but what do you think he's thinking about in a spot like this when a guy's back raising like that?
Well, Derek's kind of in an odd spot because there's a few folks who called the 40 behind you. He's probably not making it for a whole lot here. And he's trying to figure out if there's any value in him kind of squeezing everybody out, especially if your view on the guy in the plaid is maybe a little squirrely, shall we say, right?
Correct. Well, he actually buckles under the pressure, but I'm a man. I step up to the plate, and I call with King 10. We go heads up to a flop, and I would call that a whiff, right?
Yeah, but again, you still have the value of position, and again, given the fact that you are the Adam Root, he's probably a little bit nervous to play a pot against you.
I don't think he's nervous, but he checked me a free card, and that's a good card. That gives me the nut flush draw at least. I have some chance now.
That's a good card, and we didn't see a whole lot of strength from him early on either there. So his hand would be, in my guess, you can make an argument for polarized, but I would say he's pretty weak given that there was some texture to that board and he chose not to bet at you.
Correct. A lot of times against regular players, when they raise big pre-flop and then check the flop, they either have the nuts or nothing. Here he fires out $150 on the turn, and I'm not going to fold because I know the rest of those chips are going in if I connect here.
Correct, and you're getting too good of a price not to.
Correct, and of course I do not connect. And this is where it gets really weird because he takes forever.
Checks.
No, he takes forever. He checks his cards a couple times. You can't even tell how long he's taking because I actually have this on three or four times fast forward, and he eventually goes all in for just north of 500. He's got maybe a little south of 500. He's got 400 in red there and a black chip. And I contemplate what to do for a little bit. I'm really never calling, but it's just such an odd line from him, you think?
Well, I'd have to agree. Again, I think this sort of polarizes his hand a bit because, again, the check on the flop would dictate he doesn't have much. I mean, even ace-king in a lot of these spots is going to c-bet there, especially at a guy like you who's likely in a lot of pots. And then for him not to take that opportunity, sheepishly bet the turn, and then all of a sudden take some time to fire.
Yeah, look what he shows. Look what he shows, the nuts.
He did, again, like I said, it's the only thing he could show up there with other than air.
Yeah, well, he rivered it too. So I actually called him on the turn with the best hand because I just knew king high was good, Corey.
Well, of course you did.
And then when he made the best hand, I folded. So you could argue that I played that pot perfectly.
Sure, we could argue that. We could argue a few other things too, but I do like the fact that you wanted to play some pots with that guy, and I think that's a strong strategy moving forward.
Yeah, if my big fat hand would remove itself from the screen, I could tell you what's going on. Yeah, so I 4-bet this pot here to $260. And let me tell you why I did this, Corey. The original instigator in this pot was Mr. Plaidman. And,
oh, yeah.
And I want to play pots with Mr. Plaidman.
Of course.
So even though I don't know that ace queen is winning, because, you know, the other players in the pot, because there's a 3-bet to 105 in this pot as well, that person can have a real hand as well. You know, like, but I'm thinking, as long as he doesn't have ace king plus, I'm going to win this spot. He's going to fold all pocket pairs. I'm thinking he's going to fold, you know, 7s and 8s. I think he's going to fold those hands, and I'm going to be able to get heads up with having this gentleman, I assume, dominated most of the time. And we actually get it all in for $280 a piece, and my ace queen high is just good. I just win.
Well, of course it is, right?
Well, I mean, 4, 7, and 8, 9. He can make a pair.
Did he flash his hand in any way? Did he give any sort of indication as to what he was playing with there?
He didn't. I assume it was king high, king queen, king jack, king 10, all hands that don't make pairs.
If you see this man in a tournament, do not play. Get out of there.
No. What decided to play sorry? I'm not going to make decisions. Because I mean, it can help a lot of things.
Well, let's get caught back up. So the hijack raises to 20. I'm sorry, the hijack calls the 20. The button calls the 20. I look down at jack 9 of spades, and I know me, and I'm surely going to call this.
And for any of you folks watching this vlog, if you've seen any of the other vlogs, you know that hand's never getting folded.
I don't know what that means, but that's true. That's not a terrible flop. A gutter and a flush draw. A lot of times I'll go for the check raise here because I have lots of ways to win. But I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity here. Nobody bets. So I do make my flush on the turn, though, against Plaidman and then another friend of mine in seat 1 there. I bet $35.
I like the bet size. I like it. It shows it doesn't show a whole lot of strength. It might trap Plaidman here into playing back at you, or at least coming along.
They both call the $35. We go to a river card, which is a 4th spade, which isn't fantastic. But I'm going to go into check call mode here, especially if Plaidman is the one that bets.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Well, because Plaidman's going to bet a whole bunch of stuff, like any 2 possible cards he has. And I think that seat 1 is going to know that that's what he's doing. And so if seat 1 calls, which he does right here,
well,
I'm looking like he might have nothing here because he's calling light because Plaidman's playing kind of crazy. So I'm going to look it up too.
Yep. I like the call. I like the fact that you're probably not given a whole lot of credit given the number of hands that you've probably played at this point, the kind of hands you've played. So they're probably thinking the same thing with the calls on the turn. Plaidman's a little loose, probably overplayed his hand. Wouldn't be surprised if you took the pot down.
I don't take the pot down, but remember I have 2 spades and there's 4 on the board. There's only 13 total, so it's hard for like other people just to make flushes. It's hard to make flushes. But
so what did seat 1 show there?
The king of spades.
Oh.
So he wasn't, I guess, not going for any more value. I guess he thought he would only get called by the ace there because the board was paired.
He obviously has never seen your vlog.
Clearly. So I raised $15 here with pocket aces, Corey. I like to play pocket aces pre-flop.
Well, that's usually a hand that a lot of people try to hold on to.
Yeah, and here I get a min 3-bet almost. He makes it $40, and that's Plaid Man. I'm going to give him a little bit of rope. I'm just going to call. But listen to this, Corey. I don't get to give him any rope because he just goes all in the dark. So I make the smooth call there.
Tough decision, huh?
Yeah, really tough. And then, of course, then he rivers a straight and wins. I guess he turned a straight, but he wins. So you can't tell because when you're vlogging, you don't get to pick and choose when what hand you capture. And this particular vlog, even though I'm up like 600 right now in the game, I just don't capture those hands. So you're just gonna see me just lose to this Plaid Man. But I promise there were some good hands mixed in there as well. All right, we are back in action. Middle position and the low jack both limp in. I'm sure that you would recommend if you're going to join the pot, you might as well raise, right, Corey?
100%.
I'm going to look down at a very beautiful button hand, the Jack 10 of clubs. These are fun hands to play. These are my favorite hands.
I mean, any hand on the button is kind of a fun hand to play, right?
Touche. I imagine we're going to go to the flop multiple ways because we always do. And after a middle position player calls, looks like the low jack player folds. Here comes the flop. Pick me, dealer, please. That is decent.
Beautiful.
I've had a number of these open-ended straight flush draws in this vlog and the last one. Let me tell you, Corey, they're tough to hit.
Seemingly. I love the bet. I love the bet size. I love the fact that we're betting that into that sort of pot, given probably the table image you have at this point, and given the opponent that we're trying to lay a trap for. Actually,
my image shouldn't be bad. Like I said, I am up a considerable amount of money. Not a considerable, like I ended the night up 600, so I don't do poorly. It's just like I said, the hands capture aren't good.
I'm assuming you've been playing a few hands at this point.
Oh, I've been playing a lot of hands. I mean, I opened up a plug, call him $200 free flop of King 10. So yeah, I've been
again. I don't think that surprises any of your subscribers.
Plaid Man decides $95 is a good amount to donk into me on the turn when the ace hits. Even though one would think that the ace would favor me since I was the pre-flop raiser, he decides to.
It's such an interesting donk lead there because I'm not exactly sure what he thinks is going to happen there.
Well, on the river it goes check, and he wins with Jack 8. That's fun.
I hate your check there because I think you can bet him out of a lot of spots there.
Oh, I don't think you know this man well enough to say that. I mean, honestly, he wasn't doing much folding. He wasn't there making hero folds.
All right, we're taking a break. Jamin's going home. Let me tell you about the stupidest thing that's possible. On our table is a blaster guy. Who I keep giving my chips to, and he took it all in one hand.
All of it.
With
What I do?
With no joke, like 7-8 or something.
7-8 suited.
I feel like I should get half of this, but I gave up my seat so Jamie could sit down.
Yeah.
Did you really though?
She did. She
did.
gave up her
Instead of-
seat, and then
instead of him.
they skipped me once on the must move, and then I never moved. They just never took all my name.
I just touched Jamie's butt. On purpose.
Now I
Change your life.
gotta fight Jamin. All right, we're on break. I'm up like 600 or 700. Grace is even,
I don't know.
and Jamin seriously won all the money.
I won all the money. I'm out for 25, 23.
You went in for 300?
Not
Not very much more than 300.
No. Yeah, I was in for 450, I think.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it must be really nice.
Must be
What do you mean? I've been here like an hour and a half.
We ain't got nowhere to be. We've got a moment to breathe and watch the clouds roll by. There's no such thing as time when we. You don't have to say anything. I don't want you to think.
All right, Corey, the $10 button straddle is on. You like straddling?
I do. I really love straddling the button. A lot of fun.
It's a good place to straddle. That's where the straddle is from. We get a couple callers, and I'm going to look down at one of my favorite hands, the Tommy Copeland, the Queen 10. This is not a particularly strong holding, but it does have it has some removal from good hands. And I have position on everybody except for Grace on the left there, and then the button. Once Grace folds, you would think, well, no, the button definitely just calls there. So I guess that was bad thinking on my part, I guess. I just thought that there's a good chance that the button's not going to want to put in $60, you know, not knowing pre-flop what she was getting, still putting out $10. I don't know. Your thoughts?
Again, it was a valiant effort to get position there, and okay, now we got to hope for a flop, right?
Yeah, and there it is, King 7-3. So
jackpot.
Can't win with Queen High, but I can win by betting. So
yes,
I'm just thinking about what's the proper amount. I fire out $75. If she's got a flush draw, she's going to pay a little bit for it. And that's really all I'm targeting is the flush draw, because I wouldn't expect a king to fold.
No, probably not.
Nope, and she does make the call, and I get good news on the turn because it's another king. So since I'm going to continue with my line, I am targeting that flush draw because, like I said, she really can't have. She's not going to fold the king, and she shouldn't, you know, have one now that I can account for two of them.
Yeah, I'm just not sure I like that smallish of a bet. Like I understand that you're probably thinking you're going to get the same information, but I think 175 puts a little bit more pressure on that hand there. But obviously, you rake the pot, and that's what we're going for.
Well, Corey, we did it. Your first time doing the commentary. I hope you'll join us again.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep up the good work, and glad to see the vlogs come together nicely.
Yeah, it's doing well. Watch this like $69 flip that Derek wins because he runs really, really well.
Oh, one at a time.
Pair of sevens. That's the nuts. That's the nuts.
One.
It's not
Oh,
good.
Dan's got ace king.
Oh my God. Chris, number card. 6A, guys. All it takes is hopefully Chris gets second place again here.
It could be a 7 or 8.
It's a 6.
Fuck! It is a 6. God damn it!
Ship it.
And
So what do I need?
looking for a 7 or an 8 down here.
7 or an 8 or a 10?
Yeah, 7, 8, or 10. Unbelievable. Okay, the game is over. Big winner as usual, up 800. How much did you win?
250.
Winner, mozzarella stick wins 250. Grace?
I won $1.
$1.
And I gave it to the dealer.
If you like poker vlogs, unsubscribe to this one, subscribe to Jamin Burton.
That was unnecessary. If you like these videos, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, do all that fun stuff, leave a comment, probably respond, and we will see you guys next week. Bye. Yo.